Welcome to the Helix Hour, brought to you in part by Design39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs. Microphones for the Helix Hour are provided by Rode Microphones. Now, let's talk some Helix. Hey everyone, happy Sunday to you all and to all my Canadian counterparts, friends, families, and fans of the show, viewers. Happy Canada Day. What a hot Canada Day. Happy Canada Day, and I'm joined all the way from Norway, which I don't even know what the temperature's like over there, but from Frog Leap Studios. Now wait for it, I'm going to try to get this right. Leo Moracchioli.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Will that work for Canadian with a bad accent?
Yeah, that's one of the better ones. Have had letters close to macaroni, so that's definitely pretty good.
Okay, because as I was telling you off the air, I can mess up Bob Jones, or any of those type of names. I over pronounce them, so I'm glad we got that off to a start. So first of all, thank you so very much for taking time out of your insanely busy schedule to talk some Helix and Variax with us today.
Thanks for having me.
A pleasure.
I've enjoyed a few of your videos lately, and it's a good company to be in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The really cool thing about your work, which we're going to get into in a second, is the fact that your audience can range from young kids for some of the videos to adults. There's a great audience for you, and that's maybe where we'll start off. We'll jump over the chat here as soon as say hi to everybody, or as many people as we can. It's a busy chat today. But okay, so when you got into YouTube, when did you know that this was going to be the thing for you? Like, you've got a great channel, like I said, covering all these massive genres of music. But when did you know that YouTube is going to be a thing for you?
I've had the YouTube channel for many years, maybe since 2006 or 7, and I just used it as like a promotion tool for my bands, just putting out like crazy tour videos, and then when I started the studio here outside my house in 2011, I started to use it as a promotion tool to promote the studio, and started doing like YouTube videos, like acoustic cover songs to promote myself around the area around here to get like local gigs by myself. And then I did, like, for fun one day, a metal cover of Poker Face by Lady Gaga.
Right.
And it got like 1 million views within a year, I think, or something. And that's when I sat down and really found out that you could actually make a living out of doing that. So that's when I really like started to do one every Friday, and now almost 4 years later, I'm working on my 20th album. So yeah, I've done a lot. It's been good.
So when you saw that first video, like, obviously it took over a year or whatever to get 1 million views, but when you first got into like the 10,000, 50,000, so like numbers that were a little crazier than normal at the time, were you almost like thinking, is this right? Were you refreshing to check to see if those numbers were real?
Yeah, it like I said, it built like gradually during the year, but I saw like instantly that video was way beyond anything I ever done before. But I never like thought about YouTube as something else than just like a promotion tool and just for fun, almost like Facebook or whatever. So yeah, I believed it, but it was pretty weird. But then after it started to take really off, that's when the numbers started to be like weird. I can't like comprehend the numbers really. It's because I'm sitting here in far up in the mountains in Norway, so I don't see like that many fans or whatever. Right. But if I go out now to a rock festival or a place where rock people are gathered, then I can notice that a lot of people are watching my videos. Like, it's pretty hectic.
I saw that post you put on your Instagram the other day. That was kind of neat for both you and some fans. You were actually filming a music video, and they recognized you, and it was kind of a cool moment for both of you. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. I was out like shooting, not that far from my house, but it was like in the middle of nowhere. It was just like near the water, and there was no people there at all. And suddenly 2 Dutch people just came up. They were sleeping in a tent like 50 meters from there. It was like, we saw your car, because it says Frog Leap on my car. And And it was kind of strange moments, like to meet people like that.
See, I was
But
thinking, I thought maybe it might have been a, "Roar," and I thought it was a bear or something. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe. So we're standing there with me with a guitar. I'm out in the water with a an old guitar I have. So it was kind of a psycho setting for them to see me.
That's hilarious. Well, that's really cool too when you get spotted. I got spotted once, but not because of my appearance, because I was wearing a road jacket, and a lot of people because people watch me, I always have this road stuff on, and somebody
Yeah,
recognized the road jacket, and they saw the mustache, and they went, "Oh, you're that guy," and so but I mean, I'm talking local here in small town Canada, so it's not too
yeah.
hard, for in case like that, but it was kind of fun for sure.
Yeah, but I think it's like for me also, it's a perfect level of fame because it's not like it's never gonna be, and it isn't like Justin Bieber. It's not craziness.
Hmm.
It's now it's just really fun. I can if I'm on a vacation like in Barcelona or whatever, there's one guy or
Yep.
two guys just randomly saying hi, and my audience is like maybe my main audience is from 25 to 45 maybe. So everyone I've met have been really cool, like on the same level of chill as me. It's never never had any problems or anything. So yeah,
I like that. So it's manageable. So you can actually take some time instead of like, okay, hi, bye, get a quick selfie. You can actually have a brief conversation with them. It's manageable at this point, but still recognizable where you go.
yeah.
I
So
like
it
that.
depends a little bit where I am, but yeah, it's fun to be uh, a YouTube celebrity in certain settings. If I'm
Hmm.
on like a rock cruise or something, it was just insane. Like people, pictures and stuff. But still, it's like for me, it's as fun for me as it is for them. Like,
I like to hear that. That's nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that, and you've worked really hard on it. It's kind of a reward in some ways too for yourself, like because you know how much work goes into what you do, and sometimes
yeah,
people really don't know how much work goes into every one of your videos. First of all, coming up with the idea, writing the music, shooting the video, and by the time you probably get it up on YouTube, you're almost probably tired of it. A lot of work, and so that little moment with someone like that is probably very rewarding. Almost sometimes more so than a monetary a reward.
yeah. Of
Yeah.
course it is. But I'm still like I'm doing what I always love to do because I've been playing in bands since I was 15 and never made any money or
Yeah,
just played for a case of beer and all this.
that's right.
So so yeah, it's pretty insane. It's very good.
That's good. Where do you find the inspiration? Now, looking back, just scrolling some of your videos, I mean, you've got stuff from Johnny Cash to obviously Adele. I mean, you've got everything on there. I mean, the list is endless. And then recently, it was SpongeBob, which I had to show my boy because we used to watch SpongeBob all the time. Where does the
Yeah.
inspiration come up for these songs? And then, have you ever found it difficult to translate some of them to a metal genre?
Yes. Uh, for me, the whole creative aspect has been the easiest. Like the most work for me is tracking all this stuff and quadrupling the guitars and all the layers, like 50 tracks of stuff on every song. I try to like record it like a real band in the studio would record an album, and that's what makes it sound pretty good. I think like there's a lot of layers going on. Uh, but picking songs, it can be anything from um, some nostalgic stuff for me back in the day, or my wife hears something on the radio, and or some people I know come with suggestions, and also I have thousands of comments of suggestions also. But I never like try to speculate in viral videos.
Hmm.
I, it has to connect in some way. I have to hear a riff or something. So I usually don't have problems when I first start on a song because I've started on a song because there's something there that I heard that I could work with. So, but some songs take more work than others, and I spend quite a while just getting all the details right. But yeah, I've been lucky, and also after all these songs, that I'm still feeling uh, the creative aspect of it, and feeling it's fun, and doing my own creative stuff within the covers. So I get out my own music in there also. So yeah, it's fun, and it's a good variation between the creative, and I like the recording process of all the layering and the producing side and listening to the songs and what's missing here, and from this part to this, can I put just a whoosh sound on there? Maybe that would help. Yeah. And then a video, which I always take like really spontaneous also. People may think that I plan like weird stuff, but usually I'm standing there filming and I just see something weird and I take it and and suddenly it's in the video. But it's really like rewarding also to do it every week, like on the Thursday or Friday, whatever, when I'm finished, then I can like I have a whole song and a music video, a whole product finished. So it's really like this is finished, and it's all the pieces have come together, and it's a really satisfying feeling. And of course, when you upload it, there's so many people like, yeah, it's super. Of course, whatever your job, if thousands of people are coming and patting you on the back, it's great. It's motivating and fun.
I like that. So there's been no real chance of any burnout so far for you.
No, it hasn't. Of course, some days are better than others, but your life has to go like this anyway, because you can't be on top always. Then
no, you can't appreciate life either. If it's just if you're on high all the time, you can't appreciate it. There are some lows for a reason.
Yeah. You have to get down to get up.
That's right. Very good point. I would have thought for sure, outside looking in at your videos, I would have thought you scripted them because they're done that well. So hats off to you for, if you're improvising, okay, here's an idea here and I throw it in and it works. I would have thought you've storyboarded some of these videos because they're great.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. No, never. But like some videos are, of course, better than others.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like one of my most popular was like in a bunny suit at a local mall.
Yeah, feel good.
Yeah, and that's shot. That's a camera guy I know who works with camera and has this Steadicam rig. And I basically just called him the day before and said, let's shoot something there. I'll bring the bunny suit. And then when we came there, it's like, okay, let's do it in one shot.
I saw that, one shot.
Yeah, so the whole concept and idea was just really, it may look like we planned it a lot, but it's really, we did 3 takes and we took the 3rd take and used that one. So, yeah. But of course, if you're doing like 200 and something videos that I've done now, there's going to be something good there and also something bad. So you're learning as you go. So I'm just trying to, I've always been the guy also when I was younger who I always like to record at home, like many people do, and demo stuff. But I was always the guy who completed full songs, even though I wasn't completely happy. I always had to finish stuff and then move on. A lot of people record 1 riff, 2 riffs, and they never get it done. It's just like, that's cool. And I always try to like completely finish, next, then let's do the whole package. So that's really paid off for me now to be able to work in that way to make it a package.
Like, I think it's great because that's actually, I think, been a recipe for your success, because where a lot of us go wrong, we may have a lot of good ideas, and maybe even in case like videos, and you might be like, I'll make notes all the time and write down video ideas, but I'll never act on them. Not only do you act on them, you complete them and you move on. So all the things that you could be throwing away, you're physically putting out there. So that's awesome. Great advice.
Yeah, definitely. And people like comment also, how do you think of that? And some of the ideas, if you think about it, it's not really, they're not fantastic ideas. It's like, it's just a lot of stuff that's been done or you can find on YouTube. But because you're a big channel also, it's like, that's insane that you did that. But it's basically, I just did it. It's like, I just smiled in that way, or I showed something, and so it's weird what you can get away with. Like,
I think
people will praise you for weird stuff. Like,
I think you've got to that kind of stature on YouTube where you can do just about anything and people are gonna like it. So, but that's cool. The fans have really embraced you. So that's awesome.
I've been lucky.
A couple of people I want to say hi to. I won't be able to say hi to everybody in the chat today just because it's buzzing like crazy. But this one, I would feel very bad if I didn't say hello here. Mrs. Gunnan, if I'm saying that correctly, that hello from Leo's mom in Norway. So thank you for tuning in. That's awesome.
Good. Well, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Mama.
And also another one I want to say hi to as well, too, Frank Rashad, who I was telling you, obviously, from Line 6. A pleasure to have Frank here, and Frank is a key kind of inspiration for me starting this show. He says Leo is one of the most creative and entertaining players on the planet. So happy he is rocking Helix and the Shuriken, and I'm personally a huge fan.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the Line 6 people have been really great, and yeah, it basically made my whole band now. That's because of the whole Shuriken Helix thing. So
that's perfect. That's a question I'm going to ask you. Let's jump right into the band, and we'll get into Line 6. So the rest is going to be almost all Line 6 for the whole show. But tell us a little bit about Frog Leap the band. You've got a few dates under your belt, and then you've got a few other posted, and a couple of ones you had to change that are over in North America and things like that. But tell us about the band, what it is for people who don't know, because a lot of people just know the videos. Tell us about the band and some of these dates.
Yeah, so I had a lot of requests of going out live and doing these songs, but they were never intended to be played live because when I recorded also I used like 7-string and then I switched to a 6-string or a banjo or acoustic. Like within a song there can be 5 different tunings. Mm-hmm. So it was really hard like to to make it happen. And then I heard about the Variax technology, and then I saw was Stevik from 12-Foot Ninja and the Shuriken model, which is for those who don't know, a guitar which you can. I'm really bad at explaining this gear stuff, but you can basically change tuning within the guitar and make it sound like a banjo, acoustic guitar, sitar, and whatever. And you can control it with the Helix, which makes it super easy to go between tunings with a push of your foot. Mm-hmm. So I got to try that, and that's when the band got together. It's like, okay, we can actually do this. So both me and Rabia Masad, who's also playing guitar, are using like the only thing we're using the Shuriken straight into the Helix, straight to the front of house, and it sounds amazing. And everything has worked flawless so far. So yeah, I'm really happy about it, and easy to travel with also. Sounds
it
amazing.
Is. Look at all these players, like you were talking about Billy Sheehan off the air with me, and Billy, he says he can grab his Helix and his bass, and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Hop on a plane, and you're good to go. Yeah, that's fantastic. I see Chad Boston's over here in the chat right now as well, too. I'm jumping from people to people. But you may know Chad. Chad runs L6gear.com, and he also runs the Line 6 Family Original Facebook group. It's got like 15,000 members.
Oh, okay.
He wanted me to tell you he's got your address, and he's going to mail you a care package. He makes some really, really cool things like the sun shields for the Helix and the screen protectors and scribble strip protectors. He's got a whole care package coming to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so watch for that.
First gig we did, someone like threw a beer. Uh-oh. So it's just like beer over my Helix.
Oh no!
So I've always been wanting like some sort of shield protection on my pedals. So
yeah, you've got one coming. Yeah, watch for that. He's a super guy. I mean, he's and I think you're probably in the group. If not, take a look at the group for sure.
Cool.
Let me see if there's another question. Check it. Someone had a question. Okay, a couple of Insomniac Matt asked, which strings do you use? And a second question from Michelle Green, what music programs do you use? I'm assuming maybe to record either as your DAW, or maybe you're using some things like Fruity Loops or Ableton or something like that. Share with both strings and software.
Yeah, regarding strings, I've never had a preference, really. Mm-hmm. I've gone through my whole life with different gauges because of different tunings and stuff. But then when we started the band, I wanted to get those colored strings because I wanted like to pop out, like with wearing red strings on my guitar or green, like the neon strings. So I reached out to the DR strings people, and they sent over a bunch. And yeah, they're really good, and they look great, like something out of the ordinary. So yeah, I'm rocking the DR strings now on my live guitars. On all my other guitars, I couldn't even tell you what what are on them.
So no real preference. That's cool though.
Yeah,
that's cool. I just about 15 minutes before we went live, I was late doing this, but I imported your preset. So I guess we'll jump to that thing. Leo was kind enough to send us a preset here today exclusively for Helix Hour fans, and it's a really cool rhythm patch. I threw it on the Helix right away, and I recorded a riff. And actually, I'm using these the Dario NYXLs. These are 9s, good. But on the Variax, I put 10s. It came with 10s, and I'm keeping it with 10s. And holy cow, did that sound good? Really good. Tell us about that patch that you sent us and what fans can expect, and we're going to give the link a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. I use the Badonk
Oh,
amp,
okay, nice.
and but I made it like a stereo patch. I've always liked that because I used to use the Pod X3 Live.
Hmm.
I had that for many years, and I really liked the stereo. You could put one amp at left and one right. I really like that if you're playing guitar, especially alone, just to have a full sound. Not necessarily for recording. Then I would record in mono, but yeah. So I put that. That's my rehearsal tone really when I'm
Okay,
playing alone. But if you take the badonk, the left or the right amp, that's like my rhythm tone for the band because I'm playing with another guitarist and I'm not playing guitar on all the songs. I have like this badonk amp. And that's what's really cool with me and Rabia is when he's playing the songs alone, he has a stereo patch, and when we're playing together, we have our presets saved like he's panning left and right, so the sound guy doesn't need to do anything.
nice.
Like we have everything saved. Like the solo is this high, and I'm here, there, and if he's playing something in the middle, then I'm going over here. So yeah, it's really fun. I like that stuff. Like to fiddle around with the presets and especially like panning stuff and yeah, just because everything's consistent and with in-ear monitors, it just sounds amazing. And Rabia also said because he's really like used to the regular amps, tube amps and stuff, and using in-ears. But he said when using like the Helix straight into your ears, it's unbeatable. Like using that sort of direct sound, it just sounds amazing in your ear compared to if you have to mic up a cab and it
Yeah.
always varies live and stuff. So yeah, we've been happy.
If you're playing on a bill with several bands, I would imagine your band could be the one where the sound guy or girl could take a bathroom break because their job is done for them. It's so easy. Everyone's panned left and right. Levels are set for leads and breaks and tunings and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. So that's fantastic. That's a blessing, obviously.
yeah, definitely. And now we didn't have like we bring our own in-ear monitor when we played the Nova Rock Festival in Austria. So we used the monitor guy who was there, and it took us 10 minutes to just set up, and everyone was really happy. Like him also was just like, this is great. Like we just basically set the levels and we're good to go. So
So
it was fun.
everything's working out for Rebea too with his Helix. He's liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really liking it. I think he was more skeptical than me. He had to wrap his brain around it in another way than me
Mm-hmm.
because he's a much better guitar player than me, but he's more used to uh, things being where they're at, and when you change tuning suddenly, then everything changes. Like for me, I can detune one of the strings because I'm doing a pull-off
Mm-hmm.
thing. Then
Yeah.
I'll detune that because then I can do the pull-off. And yeah, but he's been really happy with it. We're both like, so good and easy to do it like live.
That's perfect. Well, the one video you did recently wasn't that far back. I'm going to say maybe about a month ago, maybe not even that long. But you did a video actually showing the Variax using the Shuriken and the Helix, and you had your different presets. Explain to people kind of like in a nutshell. And like you say, you're not super techie. You don't know all the techie things, but you seem to know how to do it. Share with us how easy it was for you to create custom tunings by snapshots on Helix.
Yeah, it was just as soon as I found out where you can go and just you can take one string and just adjust the knob. So it was really natural way to do it, and you can see it easy what you're in, and it's basically just tuning it like you want and press save, and it's good.
It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's good. I remember the first time I tried it because I was trying a couple of different types of boards like that. So I had to like set myself in it the first time just because my brain was in other stuff. But as soon as I saw like like your shirt is showing,
Yep,
like that says it all to me now. It's just like really simple setup. So
exactly.
but like every gear, you have to give it
Time.
2 minutes, 10 minutes to just understand the concept. But as soon as you spend a little bit of time just understanding it, then now it's just like piece of cake.
It is. I spoke about this several times with one of my guests here on the show. He's in the chat right now too, Jason Sedites. Are you familiar with his work on Helix? He does the dialing in series with a lot of different amplifiers.
I think I heard about it. I'm so bad with names.
No, it's okay. But take a look on Custom Tone and just look for Jay Sedites. But he does. I mean, a lot of people.
I must have seen. I've seen so many videos on the Helix, so definitely have seen it.
But what we've discussed, I've mentioned it to him when he was a guest on the show, and I mentioned it here on the show all the time. Now with HX Edit, I can actually create a preset. Like I can just draw blocks as if I'm drawing cartoons. And without even hearing them, okay, I'll pick my favorite amp. I'll pick my reverb, kind of my stock reverbs I like. I know I'll throw in a digital delay, and I pick a couple of things, and I know later on I can turn on Helix and then save it, whatever, and then I tweak a little bit, and I've got it. But 5 minutes, almost with your eyes closed, and you can create your favorite patches.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing.
It is. It is.
I think I haven't had time to really dive too far into the effects either.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I like about it compared to a few of the other stuff. Also, it's so much like effect-wise. We're using a bit of craziness within the set, like Rabi is using the banjo sound, and I have like a crazy acoustic sound in the beginning of a song. So, but it's just really fun to going from a straight up metal tone to banjo or just like insane with a push of a button and then back. And it's just like we even had to we start a song with the banjo song. We had to do, okay, you need to fiddle a little bit with your guitar so people can actually see that it's you that's doing it, and it's not like a backing track playing like banjo sound, because they look so weird, like standing there with this metal guitar and then they have this boom back sound like banjo. So we need to look, I
really
say
me.
It's banjo,
this is real. Yeah, this isn't Milli Vanilli up here. We're really doing it. Yeah. Here's a question.
Well, we have some backing tracks.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, there has to be some things in there for sure. Willie Prince has a question saying, how far along is the new Frog Leap studio? And I saw that kind of a joke picture you put up there. It was just before the lot was cleared or whatever. So I didn't even know you're building a new one. So
yeah, building a new house and studio. They generally just started a month ago. We've been planning it for 6 months now, but yeah, it's going to be ready early next year, hopefully March, April, maybe. I don't know, but it's going to take a while. But the whole concrete foundation of the studio is finished. But they're going to build our house also there. So
nice.
It's going to take a while. It's pretty amazing.
Are you having something to be like a recording studio and then another area for video shooting, or can you share a little bit about that? What your plans are?
Yeah, like I have here is my control room, and back there is like the live room. So I basically, I film sometimes here, but most of my videos are in there. So it's going to be the same concept, like a studio setup, like with the control room and live room. So the live room is going to be / video room also, and hope to have like some backdrops, like green screen and stuff. But it's going to be like almost 3 times as big as here, so it's definitely going to be spacier. So yeah, good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's amazing how much when you think you have space and then you start adding a million lights and different things, all of a sudden you're like in a room like this, aren't you?
Yeah, especially when you start working like with video stuff and lights, everything just explodes. I like to keep it tidy, and I have to because there's so much stuff and gear in here. But as soon as I start filming, it's chaos.
I
it's
agree 100%.
Wires and everything everywhere.
The wife, she'll come in and she doesn't want to come in and turn the lights because I got reference monitors that almost fall off stands when you open the door. And I have a second studio across from me in the other room, which is I do all my video work. And once the lights are set up, which are most of the time, you can't even get in there. You can wedge a guitar pick in the door, and that's about it. There's there's not much room. So yeah, always
I know
bigger.
the feeling.
Always bigger. So I'm happy for you that you're going to have a little bit more open space. Over in the chat, Andy Larkin, you kind of answered this, but it's kind of a new question too. Andy Larkin says, "Hi Leo, absolutely adore your work. What inspired you to do what you do?"
Yeah, I always liked doing it. I started almost at the same time I started playing like guitar and music. I I started recording by myself and always fiddled with video and editing. So I've always it's been my my calling in life is music. Like I was happy running the studio here before the whole YouTube thing hit. I was working with band and producing them and doing like small acoustic shows, and I played in bands before that. So I'm just super lucky now that I actually can make a living of what I like to do. That's must be anyone's
dream,
goal or dream. Yeah, of course. So yeah, I would never, even if I didn't make money, I like I did before, like never made, I would do it. Like I just I am inspired to play music in one form or another, and also video.
That's right. I think maybe you might agree with me when I say this. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but I think a lot of people look to YouTube nowadays to jump into it to make money. If you can jump into YouTube and because you love it, it's your passion right away, like cooking or playing guitar or fixing plumbing, start a channel because you love it and you're good at what you do. Don't worry about the money. Worry about giving content for people to like and consume, and ask for more. Then I think you might potentially have a chance to make some money down the road.
Definitely. I've thought about this, and I said this before also. I think you can see some channel, or you can see those people. There's basically there just to sell themselves, and I think most people can see through that. It has to be something real that you connect with on a certain level. That, but I guess now, the last couple of years also, when they see those super big YouTubers and they're just flashing cars and houses and stuff,
flexing,
people wanna, of course, people want to make money, but you have to do it for the right reasons. If you have something you're good at, then definitely go for it. But if it's just like because you want to be famous, or that's not the reason I'm going for.
No, I can appreciate that, and I'm surprised I'm going to say these names, but like I've never said them on my channel, but Rice Gum and Jake Paul and people like that. You know what I mean? It's just all about flexing. Here's my watch that your whole family would have to work for an entire year to be able to buy this watch. You know, and then here I'm going to throw it away. You know, things like that really bother me. I don't buy into that stuff at all.
Yeah, there's some weird people out there, definitely.
But more power to them, I guess. If they can do it, they can do it. I just hope that they do something good with it as well, too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
I would guess like Jake Paul, he has to like give to charity or something.
You'd think so. I'm sure there's something. I'm sure there's some good coming out of that nonsense. Talking about doing Variax stuff, obviously going from metal to banjo and things like that. Line 6 just recently announced what the SR is. It the SR250, the 25.5-inch scale Shuriken. Is that something that would interest you, or are you happy with the longer, like the baritone style, whatever?
Yeah, I just saw it. I was wondering how, if it works exactly the same way because we're very often in drop A tuning. If it's as good as the baritone scale with handling the low tunings, then definitely it's easier to play or whatever. I would love to test it out, and I hope to do someday.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But I have to ask someone there if it's. Say he can. If some of the guys are watching, they can comment and say, "Yeah, it's just as good."
That'd be cool. I'm not sure if they're physically in stores. Not Frank will probably comment and mention it. But yeah, I really want to see your thoughts on that one. Do you have, besides the other Shuriken, that's the Variax, do you have any other baritone style guitars? Is that why you like that length, or?
Yeah, because I used to play like 7 strings. But I'm not a shredder type guy either. So like 7 string for me is just overkill. I don't go like to the bottom strings. If I do on recording, I'll just change it to a 6 string instead. And I'm having problem muting all the strings also when I'm playing these tight metal riffs. So a baritone was something that I first tried not many years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago. And yeah, it just was perfect for me. It's a 6 string guitar, but like the scale, I don't really I don't like them too long.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of guitars who are really like I feel like I'm sitting like this.
Yeah.
So uh, if I'm getting a baritone, I'm always trying to get him as small as possible. So
Yeah, it doesn't feel comfortable for most things to reach the stretch like that. That's why with most of
no,
my guitars, I play the Wolfgangs, EVH Wolfgangs, and it's a nice scale. Like
oh,
you can fly on that guitar. Very small.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little person also, so if I have a big guitar on me, it looks kind of out of
Awkward. Yeah.
proportion.
I think I would gravitate towards the new Shuriken with the 25 and a half. That's what I'm going to look at because it's right in my wheelhouse for scale. And I've never owned a baritone guitar, and it's not for me. I'm not a metal player, and I
Mm.
wouldn't use it enough to really value it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm interested. I was looking at some of the other Variacs also. Is maybe cool to have like a backup, a totally different type of guitar. Like also, I don't necessarily need the guitar to look. I think the Shuriken looks great. It looks pretty metal, but I could definitely play a weird uh, other type of guitar also, and they have some cool looking other Variax types also. But I
Yeah.
don't know how they work in metal and the low tunings with those. So I maybe have to talk a bit with them.
Not bad. Like the one I did the riff with just before we went live. It's the JTV 89F, so it's the one with the Floyd Rose on it.
Yeah,
And I was joking with Frank Rashad not years ago, months ago. It seems like years ago. Several months ago when he first came on, I said, I love the Variax technology. I like the idea, but I'm a Floyd guy. You guys should come out with a Floyd. And he says, hello, we have one. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, great.
yeah.
And it's a Graphtec Floyd Rose, but I'm telling you, it plays better. It's an exact, licensed copy of the Floyd Rose, and it plays better than some of my Floyds. And I don't do the
Okay.
extreme low tunings. Sometimes I do, and it tracks very, very well.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I love Floyd Rose also. I use
Hmm.
it a lot on stuff. So yeah, would be great to hear.
Yeah. In about two
Neat.
minutes here, actually not 2 minutes, but any time now, I'm going to have my Nocturnal Butterfly, my wife here. She's going to post a link for people to download your patch. So you can go ahead and do that, folks. Now, make sure if you're watching this on a mobile device, you won't be able to download the patch on a mobile device. But the chat link will be here after the show. You're going to go to my website, and you're just going to sign up for my mailing list. And I don't spam you, and I barely even ever use it, but I thought I would at least collect some email addresses. Why not, right? And
Yeah.
download the preset. There's no IRs or anything that you need, no impulse responses. You're going to just fill in your name and email address. It's going to redirect you to another page where you can download. And if you do have any trouble, contact me through the Facebook group, and I'll be more than happy to assist you. And if there's a lot of new people here on the chat today, if you wouldn't mind throwing me a subscription today, I'd be forever grateful. And I will work hard to keep you as a subscriber. Trust me, I'll work every day to keep you as a subscriber. But that's enough about that. Let's jump over to the power cab discussion. Do you own a power cab? Have you tried the new Line 6 power cabs yet?
No, I haven't. Not at all.
You should check it out. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. It's very very cool. They've just brought out a new firmware update where it'll control the what comes out at the output, like the DI. So what a lot
Yeah.
of guys are doing, they're using it as a personal monitor on stage, and then DI rate out, and you can actually emulate what's going out. So if you want to have there's different speaker emulations. A lot of guys use it for FR. So acoustic sounds beautiful through it, right?
Ah, yeah.
So a
Yeah.
Variax acoustic, and that, or any kind of guitar for that matter. And then running it with speaker emulation, there's like vintage, there's British, and then everyone's liking this cream mode. It's the kind of the cream of the crop, basically, like creambacks, right? It
Yeah. Yeah.
sounds absolutely beautiful. Tons of volume. I'm a tube guy through and through. As you can see behind me, a lot of tube amps, and they're
Yeah.
nice, but they don't get turned on very much. Yeah, they just don't get turned on. You got to talk to the guys and get them to send you one for sure, because you will be in heaven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds. How many watts is it? Or
I think
how?
it's 250 continuous. Frank can probably double check. I know Frank doesn't know. He doesn't do all the technical aspects of it, but he knows some of the specs. And I think it's 250 continuous. I think, or but maybe he can confirm that, Frank. But it's nice. And if you use a Line 6 link cable to it, you could technically run from Helix by L6 link cable to power cab, and then power cab out to a second power cab, and it automatically knows that your patches are stereo. So those nice ones that you build in stereo,
Oh
it'll
yeah.
automatically know it's stereo and dedicate it left and right. It's like a smart link almost, right?
Jeez.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's really cool. Just I'll watch for his answer to that. Hey, Steve from Boston is here as well too. He says, "Hey, two of my favorite YouTubers."
Hey, Steve.
Nice, nice. Steve, is he back from NAMM yet? He must be back home, I guess. Yeah, he did Summer NAMM there in Nashville.
Yeah, I met him at the GitCon last year. He's a nice guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's great. Very personable and very. I think the reason why he's so successful on YouTube is he's like the guy next door, right? You want to come over and play some guitar and we'll jam and talk? That's Steve.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. So we do have 250 watts. I was correct in that. He posted that. It's very, very loud.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a demo with Jason Sudeikis, the fellow I was telling you about earlier, and Jason didn't get one yet. He's got one coming to him, and I plugged it in, and as I was setting up my cameras, I said, "Here, just you go ahead and play and jam on this thing," and he was blown away by the volume. We had like in a room, probably about a 12 by 12 room, on a small stand. We had to turn it down because it was earth-shattering loud to the point where we couldn't communicate.
Gee.
And that was like a quarter.
Is it one speaker or
one speaker? Well, one woofer, right, and then there's like some type of a horn. I haven't pulled it all apart. Yeah, it's because being FRFR, it's a full response, right? There's I hate to quote wrong with the components and things like that, but it's all those different types of things inside there. So you guys have got the links for the patch, so download that and have fun. And trust me, it's a beautiful, beautiful metal patch, and I think you've kind of set it up as a nice starting block for people to expand on that patch if they want.
Yeah, definitely. You can put any effect on it. That's what I did. Like, it's a really simple, basic setup, really, but I just EQ'd it the way I like it. And I really went back and forth when I was trying to dial in like a live tone, because it's difficult when you're sitting at home. How can you dial in something for big PAs?
Yeah.
It's like, I have no idea, but we were lucky, I guess, because the sound guy said, it sounds good. So, okay. Whew.
That's good to know.
Nice.
So that's a kind of a reward to see that you've done it right. And something that I learned from your preset, like I've had Helix for probably about 6 to 8 months. I'm going to say somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe not that long, but less than a year. And I'm still considering myself a novice, although I can do pretty good with it. But it's something I don't ever experiment with, and I saw in your preset was you're using the preamps and amps and preamps and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever used a preamp. Is that something you would encourage people to use as well?
Yeah, I don't. I was just experimenting.
Okay.
So I have no
recipe.
No, not really. I was just trying, I'm really hands-on. That's how I work, like with mixing. Also, I don't know all theories about everything. I just feel, and if it sounds good, it's good. I was playing around with the preamp thing, and it's just in a way tightened it and made it a bit more aggressive on a side that I didn't get on the other ones. So yeah, definitely. But you can I've turned it off also, and it works like that also. But definitely just try it.
That's right. You can't break it. And as Jason Sudeikis has said many times, tell me if you agree with this. It's good. You don't have to have the knowledge, but if you have a little bit of a knowledge of what pedals and amplifiers and preamps and speakers do in the real world, a little bit of knowledge, you can apply that so much easier in Helix. But don't let that scare you either, because even if you don't have the knowledge, you try. You can't break it. You're not going to blow a tube. You're not going to blow a speaker. You can't hurt it.
Yeah. But it's just a basic theory with the front of amp and the FX loop and all this stuff. It's just, I know that. So that's just really trying to experiment with having a whammy. Should I have it in front or in the back?
That's
if
right.
I have it in the back, then it's more prominent, or just different type of effects you can get from one effect, like setting it at different places in the effects chain and stuff. So
that's right.
Yeah, just experiment, because every player is different also, and every tone or ear is different. So definitely just work yourself.
That's right. Just move it along. And if it sounds really bad in one spot, chances are it might. That's kind of a visual and audible cue to you that it might belong somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couple technical answers from Frank. He confirmed it's a coaxial center-mounted tweeter, so right in the center. Yeah, so you really can't, if you're looking at the grill, you can't really see the placement probably unless you shine a really strong light on it. So a center-mounted tweeter, and then it's obviously the 112. A couple comments here. Let me see here. Martin says, metal rules. Let's keep making pressure to get high gain monsters in the next updates. Yeah, we have the 2.6 coming very, very soon, any day. So that'd be awesome. New firmware for Helix. Between the Lines says, what's up from the UK? Stumbled on the channel. Researching the HX effects. Keep up the good work, Eric. Loving Frog Leap stuff too. Thank you. Jeff Humphreys is here from Jay's Tacos Guitars, saying he'd love to see the 5150 overdrive and distortion pedals. And Robert Apple says, have I seen the Pete Thorne's demo on the MXR 5150 chorus? Yes, indeed. And I have one of those coming from Dunlop soon to give away, so that's going to be cool. Pete did a great job. There was a question here. Oh, someone said, Clarence Pregnant says, got the preset. That was the easy part. Now I need to learn Leo's song. So we got the preset, so that's working. So plug away and watch some of Leo's videos. I think you're going to impress people with that preset. That's for sure.
Yeah.
As we get closer to wrapping up here in about 7 minutes, what are your thoughts on seeing other famous artists out there that just seem to be popping up day after day after day that are like, look at here's my pedal board, and you saw the rigs before, like a Bradshaw rig and 7 trucks carrying in their stuff. Now they're bringing a Helix and an HX Effects and a Variax. What are your thoughts on that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's great. I just saw the rig rundown for Sons of Apollo with Billy Sheehan and Derek. The keyboard player Derek also uses it for his keyboards.
He does.
It's like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, definitely. I've never, because I've seen some of the rig rundowns, especially when the Axe Effects came. There was a lot of comments on, every rig rundown is the same as like the Axe Effects. But of course, I'm doing it myself now. It's just so much easier to travel with, and I've seen like Rob Chapman and the Andertons people were doing this blind test if they could spot the difference between was that a Kemper, I think, and you can't with this new technology everywhere, and you can't tell it's like a modulated amp anymore. It's in a live setting, especially,
right.
Like it's just no way you could.
I agree with that. That's a really good way to say it, especially in the live thing, because once you get out there and you get to that volume, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I can tell that's a Marshall or I can tell that's a Helix or whatever. There's no way I'm going to know when it's that volume. Here's a question for you, because I was one of those guys, and you probably were too. Like, no way, don't give me digital, stay away from digital. I hated that stuff. Like, I would want to have fighting words with people if they said, digital is better than tube or whatever. And I'm still not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's better. I kind of like it better in a way, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and get a bunch of thumbs down and stuff like that. But what would you say to someone? Okay, so you're an influential YouTuber and people respect your opinions. They buy things on your recommendations. And someone says, Leo, okay, I'm torn between, I want to spend $3,000 on $4,000 on this high gain boutique tube head and a cabinet, or I can get a Helix and what else? Maybe a Variax or something like that. Or I'm torn between the two. What advice could you share with them to maybe help their decision? Not necessarily to dissuade them, but to give them an honest answer.
Yeah, it really depends. It's I wouldn't like. It depends on what you're using it for.
Right.
Also, if you want like the real tube amp and you're that type of guy, that's perfect for you to have a real tube amp. If you want everything in one box or like different sounds, like I'm that guy. I like I would buy something with more effects or something. I remember we had that live discussion when we were at GitCon, like what guitar would you bring to a deserted island? It's like I would bring my Fender something, and I would bring like a Shuriken or something, because then you have like
everything
options, like
yep,
yeah, then you could do different stuff. Like after 20 years on a stranded island, I would like to have different sounds and different effects. So it's but people were looking weird at me. What?
Yeah.
You use that stuff there? But
that's blasphemy. How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not a purist.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. And if people, if they want their cake and eat it too, like you see a lot of these guys, they're using it in 4-cable method. Are you not using the amp portions for Helix? They're using just the effects in 4-cable method and things like that. Some guys are using it direct to front of house. Some people, strangely enough, I heard one of the I don't want to call it strange. It's just different. When I had Oz Fox on the show, he was running it to some type of a bass preamp directly, or actually to another amp right directly to the front of the input. So there's all kinds of these different scenarios, and when you listen to it, it sounds good. I guess that's all that matters, right?
It is. It's whatever works. I'm really, I'm like that. I plug stuff in and I fiddle around, and if it makes me feel good, and if it comes to guitar and buying guitars, a lot of people ask me what guitar should I buy, but that's also really like it has to look cool.
Yeah.
Too. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't like recommend, and you're thinking like, I don't really like how it looks, but he said that it's really good. That's not the way to go. It should be like people learning to play guitar also. You should be inspired. You shouldn't like sit down and just get uninspired after 2 rehearsals. You should have fun, like, and the same for me goes with gear also. It should be fun. So if tube amps is fun for you, then you definitely should do that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But there's room for everything. I like everything. Also, if I plug into a tube amp like the Kraken, the Victory Kraken is amazing tube amp. I love plugging it in and just blasting and feeling it working. That's great. But it depends.
That's right. It's not. Everyone has their own personal thing, and whether it be tube, whether it be, we live in a good place now, a good time when it comes to gear. You know, there's no danger of tube amps going away. I mean, as much as we look at modelers, they're not gonna stop tube amps from being made. Tube amps aren't gonna stop modelers from being made. We've got really cool pedals that are existing from day one that are still being manufactured. We have a lot of boutique guys and small guys, large guys manufacturing new effects. Power supplies are getting better. Pedal boards are cooler. Really, there's no shortage of guitar fun. And these darn headlines we see all the time of the guitar is dying. I don't think the guitar has never been more alive.
No, I agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
It's like, I think
it's an amazing time for us for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's not many years till I'm gonna feel like the technology is surpassing me. I think it's almost as at this point. It's like, what, you can do that?
I know. Okay. Who knows what's coming? I don't want to know what's coming.
No, it's gonna be crazy.
Other than when 2.6 is coming for Helix, and that's a wink.
Yeah,
that's a wink. But
I want to check out some new. Give me some more metal patches. That would be great.
Yeah, okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah, some new cabinets, and that would be nice.
Well, listen, down below in the description of my video, I've got a whack of links to all of your pages. I've got your website, I've got your Twitter, your Facebook, all the goodies, your YouTube. I think the only thing I didn't link to was your Patreon, but your Patreon is on your website, so I do encourage people to check out Leo's Patreon and contribute. You can also check mine out as well too, patreon.com/EVHCareTV. And if any of you are new, like I was saying, if you could throw me a subscription today, if you've enjoyed the content today, I'd be forever grateful. I want to, as we wrap up here for the Helix Hour, right on the hour, I want to thank you, Leo, for taking 60 minutes of your time today and hanging out with us and talking gear.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it went really fast.
It did. I tried to condense my other show, the EVH show. It's a 90-minute show. I tried to condense it down to 60, and it just doesn't happen. And this one is a nice sweet spot as well, too. Who knows? Maybe I'll change it to Helix Hour and a Half. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to say goodbye to you off the air. So thank you so very much. Everyone go download that patch and have fun with it. Check out all of Leo's fantastic videos on his channel and show your kids and your friends as well too. And Nocturnal Butterfly has just put the link in the chat again too. So go grab that. The link is evhgeardiscussion.com/Leo and grab that today. So don't go away, Leo. We're going to say goodbye to you off the air. Everyone, happy Canada Day. Have a great end of the weekend. Be safe out there. And we will see you next Friday on EVH and Gear TV with Mike Orlando. Until then, cheers. Thank you for watching the Helix Hour. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. An extra special thank you to the staff at Line 6 for their continued support. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so right now and feel free to share our content with your friends. See you next time on the Helix Hour.